Hey everyone, it's Joey. Just wanted to do a quick review of the new A24 horror film, Talk to Me. This movie is directed by Danny and Michael Philippou, who I'm not familiar with a lot of their previous work. I think they're relatively new to the scene of kind of mass mainstream filmmaking. So this film basically centers around a group of teenagers, maybe later teens in Australia. They find this hand that apparently is, or used to be, the hand of a medium that used to communicate with the dead and demons and stuff like that. So these kids get a hold of this hand, they use it, they abuse it, and then bad stuff starts happening. Sounds like a really cool premise for a film. I was really curious going into this film, hoping they would explore that idea a lot more and explore kind of that world and expand upon the lore and the myth that they're establishing, and maybe we'll get a lot of really horrific kind of material out of this movie. Now, this movie, for me, did not end up accomplishing that. A lot of it had to pertain to the teenage relationships, which also I had a hard time really getting invested in and believing in. There was a lot of fragmentation. The standout, Sophia Wilde, was phenomenal in this film. She did a fantastic job. A lot of the performances were great. She brought a lot of gravity to her character, a character who is grieving the loss of her mother, which obviously a very traumatic experience, and her dad is kind of aloof, and so she's feeling pretty much alone, but she has a best friend and is basically a surrogate, family member in her friend's family, and they seem to care about her to a point, but they're also skeptical of her intentions and all this stuff. It's a little confusing. A lot of it is very messy, in my opinion, which took me out of the movie for a lot of it, unfortunately. I thought, again, great premise, not so great execution. The plot was just messy. I'm not sure if it was originally intended to focus on the relationships among the friends, or did they really want to explore the horror elements of this? I mean, some of it was really cool. Some of the makeup was pretty awesome, but everything ends up being a little predictable. You end up going kind of down the route you think they would. The hand is kind of this analog for drug usage, and especially with Sophia Wilde's character Mia, it ends up being kind of about abusing things and hurting yourself through a grieving process, especially when you feel like you're kind of alone, which completely understand that. I think that was well done thanks to the performance of Sophia Wilde. But other than that, I think things were a little scattered. There wasn't enough focus on the gravity of that character. There was definitely some hard moments, and they explored those pretty well. But then the interrelationship dynamics, having crush on friend's girlfriend, it kind of, I think, detracted from what this movie could have been. Again, it feels like something that was very good conceptually, but when they came down to actually figuring out how the movie would work, because it's a relatively short movie too, some of it, a lot of it felt like filler, and a lot of the cool parts of the movie and the cool aspects of the movie are very short, and they really don't spend a lot of time on it, which is unfortunate, because the stuff that they do that is really cool and a little bit edgier was really well done. You just don't get enough of it. And then by the end of the movie, I feel like you're kind of already figured out where this is going. It ends up being pretty predictable, unfortunately. But I almost want to see them remake this movie and just flesh out the kind of lore of this world a little bit, because it seems a little bit richer, or it could be a little bit richer, but I feel like it missed the mark. It didn't hit it for me, unfortunately. This is probably one of the bigger disappointments of the year so far. I feel like this movie, I was pretty interested in it going into it, leading up to it. I had seen a couple things here and there, but I was kind of expecting a lot heavier of a movie. Maybe a lot creepier, a little bit more unsettling, and some of it was, but it wasn't enough. It felt a little bit too safe at times. But yeah, I'm not going to go on about this movie. I wish they had done some things differently, honestly, but not my favorite, honestly. Like, if I'm going to assign it a point, I have my Letterboxd review up. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on there. I usually don't like doing number reviews, but I've been doing more Letterboxd reviews if you want to follow me there. But yeah, wasn't really happy with this one. Again, great performances from the teenagers in the film, and they definitely sold it, but I think a lot more could have been done. I feel like I dropped the ball a little bit. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are with the movie, if you've seen it or if you're planning on seeing it. I spoiled a little bit. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, you want to see more reviews like this, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, do all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.